Hey guys! Today's video is inspired by Sylvanian family, so we're going to be making these two little critters as well as a house to go with them. Hope you'll enjoy! We're going to start off by making the Mr. and Mrs. who's going to live in the house. Obviously you can choose to make any of the animal characters you want. I chose to go with the grey bunnies. Because they are so tiny, I first sculpted half of them, then pre-baked and made the other half. In real life these are about 3 inches tall, which in miniature equals 6 millimeters. I made mine just under 7 millimeters to have a tiny bit more room to play around with. The clothes were made from tiny pieces from very thin sheets of clay. You don't need to add a lot of details because you won't really see it. After pre-baking, I then made the other half and baked again. And after baking, I added a few additional details using acrylic paint. And lastly, I just finished off with a matte glaze. For the house, I started out by making a super simple template. I then rolled out a thin sheet of clay and started working on the front. For this one, you'll need to make it from 3 pieces, one for each side and one for the center. This one was inspired by one of the actual houses you can get, although I made a lot more simple version and I did skip some of the details. Once you have the first 2 pieces, you can pre-bake before making and adding the 3rd piece. If you want to use brown clay to make an actual door, you can do that. I chose to use a needle tool to outline and then painted it after baking. Put those pieces together using a mix of solid clay and liquid clay and pre-bake. I then covered up this small bit on the side and pre-baked again. Next you're going to make the first and second floor. For the first floor I added the walls and then pre-baked, and for the second floor I pre-baked before adding it to the house. These 2 walls were made the same way as in the first one, but using the second template. Next you can make the roof. I used strips of clay as well as my blade to add some texture. After making room for the house as well as the windows, I pre-baked before attaching it. I then added the last two pieces, added the texture, and baked one last time. Lastly, I added some final details using acrylic paint. I also made the window frames from clay and baked them before gluing them onto the house. Make, bake and glue on the ladder. And then as a very final touch, I decided to add some dark red acrylic paint to the roof as well. I might make a part 2 with some furniture inspired by Sylvanian families, but for now I just stole a couple of pieces of furniture from the dollhouse in a tin and chopped off part of the legs. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.